It's almost 2020.
It is literally October.
It's almost Halloween, but after that, it means we can start celebrating Christmas. And then 2020.
No! No! Christmas? No!
What's wrong with Christmas?
No!
Hello, and welcome back to The Real Deal, Ball State's premier entertainment news show. I'm your host, Abby Perry.
And I'm the better half, Parker Carlson.
You say better half, but here you are dissing on Christmas.
Wow.
I mean, does anyone tell you that you look like an idiot? Do you even know how to spell iridocyclitis?
What's irritating you? You got eczema?
Wow, your words hurt more than a butt cheek on a stick.
Abigail Patricia Perry. I'm gonna need you to chill, okay?
My full name, Parker? I didn't think you could stoop so low. You know what? I'm returning my Christmas present for you. My Valentino white bag.
Fine. I guess we'll just have to move on to Mackenzie's segment on Vine references.
No, Parker. Vine is dead. It's not.
Oh, it's TikTok?
Yeah.
Oh my God, never mind, I'm out. I just miss Vine so much.
You're gonna have to take it away, Mackenzie. What's going on in the TikTok verse?
As much as I hate to admit it, as a semi-intelligent 21-year-old person, I have fallen victim to TikTok. I literally don't have time for normal television anymore. I don't know if I'm late to the party or early, but ever since I downloaded the app a few months ago, I feel like it's everywhere. TikTok, formerly known as Musical.ly, is essentially a form of Vine from what I'm understanding. You see, I never got into Vine or even had the app back when, so I don't really know. But I started seeing TikTok ads. I was a little bit interested. It started like a year ago. But now it seems like every celebrity is hopping on the fad. Miley Cyrus just welcomed Cody Simpson in a video, posted to her account. By the way, can we talk about how Cody Simpson is relevant again? And also the most liked TikTok of all time is by Lauren Gray, who has 35.4 million likes. If you're not familiar, the app allows you to make up to 1-minute videos with sounds or music in the background. From my understanding, it began as like a dancing and lip-singing app, and while there's still a lot of that on there, its cringy and trolly nature has certainly leveled up. The e-boy was originated there, and I honestly don't even know how to describe that phenomenon besides a lot of eye-rolling and lip-biting. The app has also made so many old songs popular again, like Sex by Eden, which is super cool to me. I love scrolling through and hearing all the different music and how people incorporate them into their different videos. There's also pages that specialize in like DIY projects, cooking or recipe videos, dancing tutorials, and more. It's really become like a mini YouTube, but in the form of your Instagram feed. And that is if YouTube was ran by 16-year-olds, though. Long story short, y'all, if you haven't downloaded it, please do not, because it's an addicting downward spiral. And the next thing you know, it'll be 2 a.m., and you'll have been on TikTok for the last 4 hours. Not speaking from personal experience, however. That's it for now, y'all. Thanks for listening, and until next time, I'm Mackenzie Diggs.
Thank you, Mackenzie. I think I'm gonna have to try and become an e-boy and join TikTok.
I will only support you if you own a pair of Yeezys.
I mean, I've got to support my Lord and Savior, Yeezus.
Yee.
Yee.
No. No, 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 no. Please give us your segment on Kanye. Please.
Hallelujah! Jesus is risen. As a relatively new Kanye fan, please bear with me as I spew some hot takes. After over a year of build-up, we finally got a new Kanye album, and boy, is it an album. Late last September, Kanye tweeted the album artwork and a release date for Yandhi, which was very similar to the artwork for Yeezus. Kanye even took out billboards and ads all over LA to promote the album. September 29th came and went, and we got nothing. 2 days later, Kim Kardashian tweeted the new release date to be Black Friday, November 23rd. Kanye also mentioned in an interview that he'd be traveling to Africa to finish the album. Later that month, Quavo of Migos confirmed that he was a collaborator on Yandhi, along with Nicki Minaj, Triple X, Tekashi 6ix9ine, and Ty Dolla $ign. Then 2 weeks before the release date, Kanye tweeted that the album would be pushed back indefinitely. Kanye was originally the headliner for night 1 of Coachella 2019, but pulled out because the stage wasn't big enough. It was also around this time that he started his Sunday services. All year, Kanye has held them, and a number of big names have dropped by, including Brad Pitt. In September, Kanye took Sunday service on the road with stops in New York and Chicago with Chance the Rapper. In Detroit, Kanye previewed the new album with the accompanying IMAX film and stated that the album would be released on October 25th. Many fans, including myself, didn't hold their breath. Midnight again came and went, and there was no release. Until the morning, after a new Kanye record of delays, Jesus is King was finally made public. It's not even a week old yet, and I haven't listened to it all the way. And I've only listened. Can we start over? Go from the back. Yeah, okay. After a new Kanye record of delays, Jesus is King was finally public. It's not even a week old yet, and so I've only listened to it all the way through twice, so consequentially I'm still making my mind up about it. But my favorite songs so far are Use This As Gospel and Every Hour. For Yeezy fans everywhere, I'm Noah Bush.
Thanks, Noah. As a certified e-boy, I appreciate your will to educate others on Kanye.
So you make TikToks now?
Sure do.
Hey, can I see your phone for a second?
Oh, yeah, no
Little
problem.
TikTok
Yeah,
idea,
yeah,
you know?
yeah.
Quit your life.
And I probably will now over the break.
I just scheduled a pitch meeting for tomorrow, and I'd like you to be there
I'd love to
serve peppermint hot chocolate.
I really wanted to make my mom proud. I took this job because I want to be a journalist.
Hope, your mom was already super proud of you.
Sorry to hear about your mom.
Someone left this at my door. Christmas jar. Maybe one of the neighbors dropped it.
The first person you ask is going to take it from you.
I think people are better than that.
I don't know what world you live in, but I can assure you they're not.
I discovered a message board of jar recipients.
You and I have a rendezvous with destiny. We'll preserve for our children this, the last best hope of man on earth, or we'll sentence them to take the last step into 1,000 years of darkness.
Pope John Paul II is a dagger aimed right at the throat of the Soviet Union.
A desperate time.
Other American presidents tried to figure out how to manage the Cold War. Wait, Reagan wanted to win the Cold War.
Not many ride the bus this far north. You're running away from something.
I'm running away from myself, I guess.
Hi. You can hear me. You're magic. Like me.
I don't know about magic.
So as it turns out, I can only die from clowns.
Are you honestly gonna make your one legacy on The Real Deal crappy clown jokes every single week?
I don't aim high, but I do my best.
Clearly, you started so well, but you really just dropped off a couple of episodes, you know?
Kind of like Game of Thrones did with its seasons.
Yeah, pretty much. So just like HBO, we're on a Watchmen watch out.
Who's punny now? Okay, how the turntables, Abby? How the turntables? Maybe Ben Nelson can come up and talk about HBO as someone who actually cares about their reputation on screen. Ben?
But you do.
Thank you, Parker. And let's see if we can see about that. With Game of Thrones ending earlier this year, HBO has been greenlighting more and more ambitious content in search for a new series rivaling the scope, culture impact, and ratings juggernaut that Game of Thrones had. While it is still early, Succession, while very good in its own right, doesn't have the immediate following the studio desired. and the jury is still out on the newly premiered Watchmen. HBO is still trying to find the magic solution to their new content gap that they now find themselves having. In terms of the series His Dark Materials, starring Daphne Keane as Lyra Belacqua, James McAvoy as Lord Asriel, Ruth Wilson as Marissa Couture, and Lin-Manuel Miranda as Lee Scoresby, this new show will be a reboot of a crappy Golden Compass movie that nobody saw and will be a semi-reimagining of Philip Pullman's book series of the same name. And I bet that on Keene's first day, she went up to McAvoy and said, "Hello, Professor. Wow, you are looking much younger today. I wonder what happened since the last time we met." Early reviews have been released, and so far it's looking good for the new series. Currently at 91% on Rotten Tomatoes, critics are enthusiastic about the HBO's next go at the fantasy genre. A faithful adaptation with the same themes, scope, and character development have been present so far in early screenings, along with stellar performances by the whole cast. But most notable performance is Keene's performance as Lyra. Ben Lawrence from the Daily Telegraph stated that her performance was spellbinding. McAvoy's and Wilson's performances were also highlighted in various reviews. With decent to good special effects, plenty of ambition in front of and behind the camera, and early critic praise, could this finally be the next Game of Thrones HBO has been looking for since early this summer? Only time will tell. But so far, so good. Back to you, Abby.
Thanks, Ben. I think we're all going to have to watch out for what HBO does next.
So next up, we've got Anastasia talking about, oh my God, hold up, Abby. Read this, look at this.
Oh my God.
This week, Anastasia is talking about something other than Stephen King.
The world is ending, and I don't think I'm ready for this.
So she's talking about Batman. That's kind of scary, right? Like Stephen King scary? Come on.
You're reaching there, Parker. This is a necessary segment, though.
No. I don't believe it.
Face it, she's the segment producer the Real Deal deserves, but not the one we need right now.
So we'll hunt her and
Nope. We're just gonna let Anastasia give her segment on the latest news revolving around Batman. Anastasia?
The DC Extended Universe hasn't had the best of luck these last couple of years, most recent, of course, being the loss of Ben Affleck as Bruce Wayne, aka Batman. Affleck, along with Jeff Jones, had been writing a script for the solo Batman movie, with Affleck to also direct. Following the Justice League, which featured a post-credit scene featuring Deathstroke, played by Joe Manganiello, it was believed Deathstroke was to be the main villain. But with Affleck completely leaving the DCEU, it looks as if the Batman might be taking a completely different route to what we originally believed. The Batman will replace Affleck and instead star Robert Pattinson of Twilight fame as Bruce Wayne, and Matt Reeves is directing as well as co-writing the script. There have been limited details about the Batman currently. Warner Bros. Seems to be keeping everything under lock and key. There are a few confirmed characters to feature in the movie, such as Jeremy Irons, who is believed to reprise his role as Alfred Pennyworth, and Jeffrey Wright, who will be replacing J.K. Simmons to play Commissioner Jim Gordon. And just recently announced, Zoe Kravitz will be playing Selena Kyle, aka Catwoman, and Paul Dano will play Edward Nashton, aka the Riddler. However, there is even more that we don't know. There have been no talks to whether Deathstroke will appear in this film, or if Joe Manganiello will even reprise the role if Deathstroke is to feature. Andy Serkis is rumored to feature in the film. The role that Serkis is looking at apparently does not involve any motion capture, which he's most known for, but that's the only clue we have to what character he could possibly be playing. The director, Matt Reeves, while he hasn't given us a lot of information about the movie, he has given us some. Reeves has stated that the Batman will focus much more on the detective aspect of the Caped Crusader, which he believes hasn't been explored much in the films. The Batman is called the world's greatest detective in many of his comics, so it only makes sense for Reeves to explore that part of the character. Reeves has also stated that this will be a much more noir-type film, and that Batman will be investigating a particular case that takes us out into the world of Gotham, and that this film will feature Batman's rogues gallery, so we will probably have many more actors confirmed to play some villains. And finally, after much speculation, Reeves has confirmed that the Batman will be part of the DC Extended Universe, which should be interesting to see how this iteration fits in the narrative is already set by Zack Snyder. As the months pass, more actors and plot details will be confirmed, but until the release of The Batman in 2021, we will only be able to speculate. And that's it for me. I'm Anastasia Scott.
You know what the difference between me and Anastasia is? She's got a great sense of fashion, you know? Like, I'm thinking of copying her hairstyle, but I don't think I can pull it off.
You're right. You couldn't.
Okay, then. You could have just lied. You could have just spared my feelings. You're not even going to comment on that? On ruining my feelings and
No.
self-confidence?
No. Whatever I say is the final word. Huh? Huh? Get it?
My name is Sarah Connor. August 29, 1997. It was supposed to be Judgment Day. But I changed the future. Saved 3 billion lives. Enough of a resume for you?
No. You may have changed the future. Can you please stop bothering my kid?
Sorry.
Arthur, I have some bad news for you. This is the last time we'll be meeting.
5 years ago, I thought I lost you forever. There is no curse that could ever tear me away from you. Will you marry me?
Yes!
Mistress, I have a little bit of news.
Don't ruin my morning.
Let's talk Princess Diaries 3. A while back, Anne Hathaway mentioned the possibility, but she said that they wanted to make it perfect. More recently, the Queen herself, Julie Andrews, said something similar, loosely stating that the project is in the works, but her and Anne are so busy and they want to make it perfect. Now, I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that they're probably going to make this movie. I, of course, am very excited and will probably disregard the rest of this segment when the movie finally comes to fruition. I will plan a big premiere night with all of my gal pals and maybe Parker, and I will eat up every second of nostalgia. That being said, I'm angry. I've said this time and time again, but it is time for some new content. You know why movies like Princess Diaries were so successful? Because they were original and fresh ideas. Dear movie industry, we can still have success using this method. Now don't get me wrong, I love the Disney Channel original movies from my childhood. I would love to see where all of my favorite characters ended up. But hear me out here, I would also love some new content. We've made so many live action remakes and brought back so many old shows and movies that I'm beginning to think that we are trapped in the past. That's probably dramatic, I know, I tend to be that way, but it's true. When I originally heard about the possibility of the trilogy, I didn't know that Fuller House, Raven's Home, Lion King, Aladdin, and so on and so forth would be premiering as well. I would still be incredibly excited if I wasn't so drained from all the other comebacks, but alas, I am. I hate that I have to feel this way. This is gonna sound crazy, and I don't even know if I can say it, but I would even be mad if they said they were gonna make a new Cheetah Girls movie. Oh, that would hurt. That's my point, though. Even if something that had a huge impact on my childhood came back, part of me would still be mad. Still hurts to say. I want some new content, though. If I can get some more new content, then sure, let's keep on rolling with the remakes. Let's find out where the Wildcats are, if Lemonade Mouth made it big, if Raven returned to the Cheetah Girls, and if Princess Mia is still enjoying her life of royalty. I want to know it all, but I also want to fall in love with new characters. I also don't want my future children to only be able to fall in love with characters that were developed in the early 2000s, no matter how iconic. But anyways, I'm really excited for Princess Diaries 3. Even if I'm mad, I'm happy to. I don't know, I'm confused too. Take it away, Parker.
Thanks, Abby. I think we can both agree that every movie right about here, Disney Channel original movies,
Right about
up here. Yeah. So moving on to the other side of the spectrum of films and movies, Edgar Wright always keeps his works under wraps. He'll release a tease here and there, but when it comes to his projects, Wright likes to remain tight-lipped. Given that Edgar Wright is one of my favorite directors who continually pushes out unique films, I'm very excited to see what he does next. And thanks to some articles by Empire, we can finally get a tiny glimpse into the newest movie, Last Night in Soho. So far, we've known a couple things about Last Night in Soho. First, it's Wright's first foray into the horror genre. Not some comedy parody of the horror, like in Shaun of the Dead, mind you. Last Night in Soho is supposed to be a straight-up horror movie. Now, this will have probably some comedy in it and some light moments, given that this is Edgar Wright after all, but it's refreshing to see him try a new genre and a new style of film that's unlike anything he's ever done before. What else do we know about this film that Empire recently talked about? Well, the plot follows Thomasin McKenzie's character, Eloise. Eloise's infatuation with the 1960s London. As Edgar Wright puts it, quote, "Imagine if you knew everything you knew now and went back." I'm taking a premise whereby you have a character who, in a sort of abstract way, gets to travel in time. And the reality of the decade is maybe not what she imagines. It has an element of be careful what you wish for, end quote. To me, it seems like Last Night in Soho revolves around the science fiction-esque trope of time travel gone wrong. It'll be interesting to see Wright take something like this, which has been done time and time again, like famously in Back to the Future, but with a horror twist. Of course, this can only be pulled off with a great cast, and so far it seems like an interesting lineup. As I mentioned earlier, it stars Thomasin McKenzie, who is hot off the heels with Jojo Rabbit and Leave No Trace, but Last Night in Soho also features Anya Taylor-Joy and my favorite doctor, Matt Smith. I'm incredibly excited for Last Night in Soho. If you know me, I'm normally as far away as I can get from anything horror, but because Edgar Wright's name is headlining it, I'm gonna be first in line opening night. The only thing I'm worried about is Wright's style. I love that his films are getting more mainstream, like the runaway success of Baby Driver, but I fell in love with Edgar Wright because he had a unique style to his films that can't be found anywhere else. As much as I loved Baby Driver, it was kind of lacking in that trademark Wright style compared to his other movies. I just hope that Wright manages to fit his great style into the horror genre as best as possible. But that worry of mine is just speculation. We'll all see how Last Night in Soho turns out September 25th, 2020.
And that's it for us here at The Real Deal. If you want more from us, check out our Facebook, Twitter, and website for all things entertainment. I'm your host, Abby Perry.
And I'm Parker Carlson. See you next time on The Real Deal.